Hello everybody and welcome to another Battleground Games Live! Hi there, I'm Andrew and we are streaming from the loft at Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts. As you probably know by now, Battleground Games and Hobbies is your friendly local game store in the greater Boston, Massachusetts area with 3 locations, one in Norton, Massachusetts, one up in Saugus on Route 1, and this lovely location in Abington that has a loft where we frequently stream from. For the most part, we stream board games on Friday nights. We've been doing some role-playing streaming. We did a D&D game last night, which was fantastic, and I had a huge amount of fun with it. But I have long wanted to get into the world of Warhammer 40K, and so that's what this program is about, Newplay 40K, where I am building my first ever 40K miniatures. I got the T'Au Killteam box, and I'm constructing some folks from that. And then Allie is going to actually run me through a Killteam game next week.
Yes.
I hope you'll be able to be here next week. So.
I will definitely be here. If I'm not throwing up again, I will be here.
Okay, please don't be throwing up. That would be unpleasant. But for today, my plan is to get some detail work on my figures. Obviously, I could play with just gray plastic next week. There's no shame in such a thing.
There is not.
So we had here in the Abington store this weekend a huge tournament. It was a Warhammer 40K doubles tournament, and man, how many players did we have? 32 players?
32 players, 16 teams, and 7 teams on a wait list.
Man, it was amazing. And Allie did most of the organizational work for that.
All of the organizational work.
Oh, there you go then.
It's my baby. I run all the tournaments, so.
It is her thing. It's
yes.
what she does for us. And the reason I bring it up is there were definitely a few figures there that were not painted in great detail. Did you impose a 3-color rule like you would normally have for a 40K tournament?
No, for our tournaments there are no 3-color rules because we want as many people to be able to play as possible.
Okay.
The only event that we ever put that on is the Mega Battle.
Oh, the Mega Battle. For those unfamiliar with the Battleground particular variation of the Mega Battle, it used to be an annual thing, and then we didn't have one for like a decade. And then we've recently started doing them again, and it is astonishing. It's basically
an apocalypse game.
Yeah, but the scale of it is like nothing else that we do at Battleground, at least. It's massive. How many people did we have for the last one, and what was the point buy on it?
The one that we just had was power level. It was 225 power level per person.
That's right, yeah.
And it was, I believe we had 40 players in total, roughly.
So not the most players we've ever had, but the fact that it was that large an army meant that we had one massive table that took up probably the entire floor of the store, and there were a lot of enormous models that came for the party.
Yes, the apocalypse-sized models.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was, that's part of the reason that I want to get into 40K. So it's taken me 3 weeks to get some paint on 5 little T'Au and 2 drones and a turret.
Yep.
I can't even conceive of the amount of work or the amount of time it would take me to do something on a larger scale, like a night or something like that. You were working 3 weeks ago, on your night.
Yes.
Your Wolfen.
It's still not done.
Yeah. So no shame in not being able to finish something, but I'm trying to remember what colors I I was definitely using pale blue. Alright. So, anyways, I may be playing with some models that don't meet my exacting standards next week, but that's fine. Right?
Yes.
It's perfectly okay, and I'm certain our friends in chat will not complain if my figures lack the detail that I wish they had.
My models won't be painted.
Okay.
If that makes you feel any
Are you playing
better.
Space Wolves?
Yes, I will be. Space Wolves.
We should decide what mission we're doing.
Today?
Well, we don't have to do it today. Obviously, we should do it before we start next
Well, yeah. I was gonna say, I don't have my book with me.
I have my core manual.
You can pick one out right now, then, if you want to hand it to me.
Yeah, sure. Here. While you do that, I'm going to get out the figures I've been working on. So I'm not going to finish my Chasui. That's the leader of my team. Just because I want to have the time to do it right. But I think I can get some finishing touches on some of the other guys today. So my plan is, I'm not going to finish the drones today because I have a little more work to do on them. My plan is to at least get most of the detail work on one. Oh, geez, you know what I forgot? Null oil. There we go. Whew, the day is saved. Alright, so let's go to Zoom Cam here so that I can show off my guys. These are the guys I've been working on. And let's see, is that in focus? Looks decent. So I talked a lot about the fact that I had a lesson learned in how to paint things in white, which was don't paint things in white. So these guys, I had one that I based in white, and it was gloppy and streaky, and it looked like garbage, and I was very sad. So I painted them all over in a very pale blue. I believe it's this one, pale blue. I use the Vallejo paints for the most part. And I think that came out pretty well. It looks white enough. And my mission today, actually, is to lighten up some areas of him, do it using some dry brushing. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. There we go. And to add some fine detail, so I want to work on his little eye lenses. Hi, how's it going? Thanks for joining us again. And, oops, hang on. I want to bring chat up on my phone because although we have chat up here, I'm not going to be able to see it once I take my glasses off, and I can't paint when I have my glasses on. This is not what I'm looking for. Come on. Yep. Why is my phone being a butt? My phone says the channel's offline, but we're obviously not online because we have somebody in chat. So, thanks for nothing, Twitch app. Allie, while I do this, why don't you talk about what you're doing?
I am currently assembling boxes of terrain for the store because later on today, myself and Derek will be building more terrain for the store, and these need to be put onto said terrain.
Awesome.
Currently working on stuff for a volcano table.
I thought we already had a volcano table.
We are going to make it so each store has each table.
Alright, so today I'm going to be using my Psycho brush. The first order of business is I want to work on the lenses for this guy's visor. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use some lemon yellow. I have been... So my wife complains a lot about yellow because it is a paint that does not get good coverage. You have to do several layers and it's sort of see-through.
Yep.
That's actually my objective today. I want to have a thin layer of yellow which is going to look as if it's the reflection from the lamps on his eye lenses, which I'm going to do with Waystone Green, which is one of the GW technicals. It's like a gem green.
It's also shiny.
Yes, it is glossy. So that's going to hopefully give him a little definition around the face there. So, in my experience, I'm doing great, Flo. I'm having a pretty good day today. We had a lot of fun on stream yesterday when we were doing a big D&D thing, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some more painting done. So yeah, I'm going to do the eyes. There are several details on his gun that I want to do. So a thing that folks frequently do with T'Au is this little circle here on the gun, painted in a different color. So I'm going to put that in gold. I'm going to use, I've just got some auric armor. I'm going to use that for that. Again, glossy. And
very thin.
Very thin. I have Army Painter Gunmetal, which is a sort of silvery paint that I'm going to use for like the barrel bits that are sticking out here. He's got like a vent on the bottom of his gun I'm going to hit with that. And I need, some of the folks have belt pouches. He's got, this particular model has shotgun shells on his belt. I'm going to do those probably with the auric armor. I feel shotgun shells could be gold or they could be yellow. I don't want them to be too glaringly... I usually don't want them to stand out too much.
Copper or bronze colors.
Copper or bronze? Mm-hmm. That's not a bad idea. Let's see what I've got in my handy-dandy box of toys. I have Brass Scorpion, which is actually a lot of fun. It's a bronzish color with a suspension, so it has a glittery sort of look to it. So maybe I'll use that.
Usually used as a highlight layer.
And then the next step after I do that is I'm going to start hitting him with a wash. So in my experience, and I don't have a lot of experience in painting, although Allie has a lot more than I do, the base layer, when you get your base layer on your model, is the most disappointing part. It is when you look at your model and you're like, this is so bland, this is so dull and so boring, and I hate it. Like, I am a terrible painter and nothing is good.
Sounds about right.
Then you get these little fine details in, and then through the magic of a wash, and I'm using Nuln Oil, you darken it down. It looks, more weathered and battle-weary, and it gets down into all the little cracks and crevices, and the model just, it just comes to life. It's like, I can't rave enough about how a wash makes a model suddenly go from just bland to looking fantastic.
And there are millions of them for many different things.
Yeah. And you guys probably can't see it, but I can, looking at this. I was as meticulous as I could be in applying the paint so that, each area is sort of outlined. But there's very, very small areas where the paint goes outside the lines. Because those are all on, like, the edge of a surface, the wash will catch in those and cover up those blemishes. So all those little blemishes that I'm not terribly proud of will go away. If I have time today, and I may not, I'm going to start working on the base. So I've got some Sturtland Battlemire, which is just a thick, gritty suspension that makes a good sort of muddy bottom. And you can sort of mold it with the brush, so you can make hillocks and and mess with it. So I'm going to do that to their bases. Later on, I'm going to add a little bit of snow and some tufts that I have. And that's going to be the final bit.
First it gets dry brushed, though.
First, yes. Dry brushing and details.
Well, this is that's Sterling mud, right?
Yeah.
That's what I use for my stuff, too. It's really good.
No, this is Battlemire. The mud is actually thinner. The
Yeah.
Battlemire is thicker.
Is it thicker?
It goes on heavier. And I have the mud, too.
I
But
like
if you do
Sterling
the mud, you kind of have to have a surface to apply it to, whereas the Battlemire has so much grit suspended in it that when you put it on, you're going to get it all stuck in the bristles of your brush. So use a brush you don't like, and it's going to
typhus corrosion.
it's going to go in there, and it's going to give a lot of texture to the base. It's going to give a lot of individuality to it.
I would definitely dry brush it with a light brown.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do brown first?
So you put on the mud, and then once it's...
Oh, I see. You're saying after you put the mud on. Yes. Well, just like... so what I've done in the past is apply the mud to the base, and then actually apply a wash to that, because when you put it on, it's all one color, even though it's got some texture to it. So you go apply a wash, and that brings out the texture. And then, like you said, do a lighter dry brush over that. And then you've got like the high layer, you've got the mud, you've got the low layer, and it's going to look spectacular.
Are you going to do non-oil or Agrax Earthshade?
That's a good question. Probably Agrax. I believe I've got some somewhere. So, funny story. Back when we've done a couple of painting competitions, or I've entered a couple of painting competitions here at Battleground, and at one of them, for one of them, I was building a, what was it? A ice troll that was bound up by vines being cast by a druid. See, this is why I'm not a big fan of Citadel paints. I don't like the vines.
Most people don't. Most people switch over to dropper bottles.
Now, do you like transfer the paint into a dropper? Oh man, that sounds agonizing and slow. I mean, worth it probably?
I don't personally do that, but...
Well, you do a lot of airbrush these days.
Correct, and I find the equivalent in paints in dropper bottles to make my life easier.
Alright, so this is the auric armor, and this is my Psycho brush. Warhammer, the Psycho.
That's my favorite brush.
Try and get in here and just apply this very carefully to the circle on the gun here. Give it some character. Probably gonna take a couple layers, because like you said, this is a thinner paint. Though it does have a great look to it. So, Allie, I am very inexperienced at painting, obviously. But already I feel when you get a brush, it has a personality to it. Do you feel this? Where even if it's got the same brand and name as another brush, especially when you get to the fine detail brushes like the Psycho here that has just a couple of bristles on it, the brush itself is going to be different.
They are very different as you go through different brushes.
So if this brush died and I went to get myself a new Psycho, I'd probably have to get used to it again.
Yeah, I think it wears with you, and it's always, for me, it's always weird getting new standard brushes.
So, Flo, when you say the shell in red and bronze, what are you referring to?
Shotgun shells usually have red around them, and then the very top and bottom are bronze.
That makes sense. I don't want to get too many clashing colors onto the model. That's my my dilemma.
Red and browns don't clash.
No, but they'll clash with the green.
Red and green are complementary colors.
And I don't want my figure to look like it's on a Christmas celebration. Alright, I should stop mucking with this. I'll do a second layer on that later. Let's do the other side.
I think something like shotgun shells being so small, it would be nice to have a contrast against the green. But that is my opinion.
Goodness. The only problem with doing really super fine detail is that this table is not the most stable surface in the universe. It has a tendency to shake at the slightest nudge. I will say I've been looking forward to this stream for a long time because it's very slow work doing all the base coat stuff, and you don't get that much bang for your buck. You're applying base coat and you're applying base coat and you're doing layer upon layer, and it feels very monotonous. But when you get down to this level of detail and getting these little fine detail things in, then suddenly you have a lot more to do on a smaller area, so it feels like you're doing a lot more in the same amount of time. That's definitely going to take another layer. I'm just worried that this Auric armor is, although it's thin enough that it's going to take a couple of layers to get the coverage I want, it's thick enough that it's getting down into the crevices more than I would like.
Most people start with a base of Retributor armor for Auric Gold.
Not a bad idea. Let's do those eyes I was talking about. So like I said, using some Vallejo. This is the lemon yellow, which is going to go on kind of thin, and that's actually what I do want. I'm just doing like highlights around the eyes here. My goal is to have it look as if there's a yellow light that's being reflected or off the surfaces around his eyes. So it's going to be a subtle look. That looks pretty much the way I want it to look. I might actually go in and touch this up after I do the wash, too. I think of something to do with his backpack. It's a big, empty canvas that I haven't done anything with. Let's get out some gunmetal. I've used this in the past, this gunmetal, on my Rune Wars figures for swords and knives and stuff, and it always comes out looking great. And it is a very thick paint. It takes just a tiny nudge to get what you're looking for. Dang it. Quite pleased with how the yellow looks around the lenses on his eyes. One thing I'm not sure of is whether any of this even comes across on stream, as I'm doing such tiny, fine detail at this stage. I don't know if it shows up even in the close-up camera that I'm using. So Ellie, we mentioned, or I mentioned when I was talking to you earlier, the fact that I saw you're planning a Age of Sigmar thing in the store. Is that here in Abington?
Yes, it'll be in Abington, and it will be starting on March 9th. I'll be making a Facebook event later on this evening for it. It'll be an escalation league starting at 250 points and ending at 2,000 points, played every other Sunday at noon. It'll be a $10 entry fee, which will go towards a prize pool for things like winning overall and a painting portion. And the rest of the details will be announced later on today.
Well, I know there's folks excited about Age of Sigmar.
Yes, it is.
That's something that's been slowly picking up in the store.
Yes. I'm excited to see how this goes.
And are we still doing anything with Killteam? Because there was a Killteam League for a while on, what day was it? On Thursdays?
So we finished up our Killteam League. After PAX East, I will be running a Killteam Arena event.
Oh, okay. And you had mentioned that you liked Arena because it feels less... It's a different sort of beast. It's like its own little thing.
Yes.
Right?
It's, so Arena is the competitive play version of Killteam. It's a bracketed tournament.
Yeah, that might not be my jam, but I can certainly see how some folks would find that more entertaining than doing occasional pickup games.
Yeah, definitely not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm excited to see how it goes.
Not much contrast between this gunmetal and the gray here. Subtle. But I'm trying to add some detail to this backpack to give it some character. That character is what it's all about, right?
Yes.
So did you, Saturday, during the doubles tournament, you did most of the judging of the painting competition? I saw Derek, who's the store owner, walking around and like looking at stuff.
I did all of the judging.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
what are the criteria that you look at when you're judging?
So, first and foremost is the painting, whether or not players used highlights and washes, how many layers, how clean the highlights and blending is, and the detail work is very important.
Now, in the past, when Derek's been judging these competitions, I know he's had a whole sheet that he fills out for every army that he judges. Did you do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess that's the most fair way to do it.
Yeah, everyone's judged off of the same rubric. There are also points for conversions and custom doing models, points for having all of your bases flocked and any extra details, hand-painted details on your models, and display boards.
Oh man, I want to do a display board.
I'm making one right now for my army.
Yeah?
Yeah, it has a coyote pelt and everything.
See, I like display boards. I didn't realize that they were taken in as a criteria during the competition.
Yes.
But I just think they look awesome.
Yeah, it's a way to get a leg up on the competition. You can make up for not having the finest detail work with putting the time and effort into making a display board.
I'm sure if I read the novelizations or got into the fluff, there would be some description of some of the equipment that the T'Au carry with them. It would give me some inspiration in painting this backpack, but I don't have the time for that sort of thing. I mean, I've barely found the time to paint them at all. So I'm just sort of winging it. I'm just sort of looking at the model and saying, well, this would look cool, right?
And that's how it should be.
Slap some paint in there.
When I first played, I painted all of mine black and yellow. And
what were you playing?
Space Wolves.
Of course.
In 5th edition.
You want to tell the chat what your email is in case they want to order any commissions from you?
My email is spacewolvesfangirl@gmail.com. And I've had it since I started playing Warhammer years ago.
Yeah, I still find that amusing. I find it amusing that Derek offered to give you a battlegroundgames.com email, and you were like, no, I'll just keep using Space Wolves Fangirl.
It makes sense for my job. It's easier for people to remember.
Yeah, that's true. So, how's your commission slate looking? I know you've got one massive project on deck right now.
Right now, I am finishing up an entire Custodes army and some Chimeras, and I will be working on the Forge World Orion dropship for the Adeptus Custodes. And then I know that I have some Corn models and some Guard models on deck that I will be doing after I catch up on my current stuff. And, painting my own models and my husband's big guys.
Yeah, you've certainly got enough of his stuff that you'll never run out.
Well, for him, he enjoys painting his own stuff, but there are a couple models that I offered to paint because I want them to be perfect, which, I still have to finish his Riptide battlesuit.
Yeah, that thing looks pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to try some red on the shotgun shells. Just a Vallejo Scarlet here.
Do you have a darker red?
I might.
Scarlet is good for the highlight portion of red, but a darker red is usually better to start off with for red.
So my attitude with painting so far, and like I said, I'm total amateur, but my attitude has been very much, and this is something that I picked up from Amanda, because she does a lot of painting, much more than I do, but paint light, go for brighter colors, because the wash is going to go on over that, and it's going to make things tone down when you apply the wash. Okay, let's try some of this brass scorpion on the shotgun shells too. This stuff is... I can't remember what I bought this for. I was using it as detail for something, and it came out so... It's like a reddish brass. Great. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It does offer some contrast, which is nice. Okay. Alright. What next? Maybe do those green on the lenses now. That Waystone green technical. Technicals do take a lot of shaking. So one of the painters that I follow online, I don't know if he's still working on stream, but he used to stream pretty regularly, and we used to host him with Battleground. He had a clamp attached to a jigsaw. And he would stick the cans in this clamp attached to the jigsaw, pull the trigger on the jigsaw, and it would go and shake the cans.
You can just get a paint shaker. Those exist.
Yeah, but you know, this was... He did a whole thing.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, how's it going? Glad you could pop in. Look at that. Just translucent enough that it looks like a light, but it's also got that gloss. There we go. That's pretty much exactly what I was looking for. Oh, I'm so pleased.
Yeah, not for the dropper bottles. They have them for the Citadel size ones.
What is that? Oh, paint chip. Things don't exist for tiny pots.
Yeah, for like the long, thin ones like Vallejo and Army painter.
Okay, I'm going to do a second layer of the ARG armor. And then, I've been putting it off, but I'm going to try and do some dry brushing. I'm bad at dry brushing. I have to admit that. But you're never going to get better if you don't test yourself, right?
Matt says you guys need to filter mic or filter for your table mic when doing the RPGs?
We weren't actually using a table mic. We were using individual mics for everybody. So I don't know. You're right. It has a sort of a sharp sound to it. Part of that is just the loft is not soundproofed or well designed as a streaming space. It's a down the line thing. We'd like to add some nice soundproofing. We've actually talked with Derek and Chad about putting curtains up and maybe building a bookcase back here behind us or along the wall behind me here so that we don't have just big blank empty space. Can fill it up with the games that we've played on stream, something like that. But yeah, better sound would be nice.
Boardroom.
I do kind of wish that OBS had like noise cancellation and stuff like that. OBS is the software we use when we're streaming.
I tried watching yesterday, but whenever people laughed or tried talking over each other, the gain went up really fast and tried to blow out my ears and speakers. Use the boardroom.
Yeah. Yeah, we could use the back room. That's not a bad idea. All right. I put it off as long as I possibly can. Hey, Allie.
Yes.
You want to talk me through dry brushing? I know the theory, but I've never gotten it to work quite the way I want it to.
So
I'm going to grab a white to do dry brushing highlights. Nope, not that one. I'm going to use this off-white to eat. Referring to using the back room or referring to dry brushing?
Probably both. Oh, he's telling me to teach.
Alright, so I have... That's a crap brush.
You need a dry brush.
Yeah.
The bristles are
So I
different.
have a large dry brush. And... Oh man, it's stiff.
That's fine. It's supposed to be much stiffer.
Okay.
No, you didn't just wet it, did you?
I did.
You can't use that brush now. So the paint wets it for you enough to work with.
Oh, okay.
So you want... Dry brushes are meant to be much stiffer. That way, when you dry out the paint, you can still use a lot more force on them in order to get the paint off of the brush.
Okay. Let me get some paint on my palette. Should I wet the paint?
No.
Okay.
Dry brush is meant to be done with heavier paints. That's why companies like Citadel give you paints that you can pull out because they're super, super thick.
Okay.
Okay,
So I'm going to find a surface I don't care about as much. We'll start with his knee caps, his knee pads.
Okay, so first put some paint on the tip of your brush.
Like on the edge?
Yep, you want it up a little bit. Yep, all right.
Okay.
Now wipe it off on the towel.
Yep.
And you want to like rub it in a circle like this. You want it to be
Let's do
that.
this on stream here.
So you want it so that it takes force to pull paint off of your brush.
Okay.
I would test it like on your finger. That looks like there's still a little bit too much.
Okay.
Okay, that should be good. Now go over the knee against the grain of the surface that you're dry brushing so it
Am I
catches
using
edges.
edgewise or across?
You want, like, you're holding it now.
Okay. And it should catch on the edges. Yep.
Yep.
I can see it's catching on the edges.
And the beauty of dry brushing is that it starts out with only a little bit, but you can build it up to be whatever amount that you want it to be.
Okay. Now, how frequently do you think I'm going to want to get more paint on the brush for this?
When you start having to use a lot of force and nothing is coming off still.
Okay.
They're the most, like, they hold up the best out of all the brushes, so don't be afraid to be super aggressive.
Mash it, yeah.
Yeah, to mash it against the mat. Because you won't use it for anything else.
And I don't have to worry about it getting too much on other areas because the wash is going on after this. So. Alright. That might be too much paint on the brush, but that's okay. That's what learning is all about.
Yeah, it's hard with a color like white when you're barely seeing how much is coming off when you're pressing it against the mat.
Yeah, I should have brought in a brown paper towel.
I test mine on the bases usually if I'm using white.
I definitely got too much on that one.
I think he's washing things that aren't what he's dry brushing. You're not gonna wash what you're dry brushing, right?
Yes.
You're going to?
Yes.
Dry brushing goes last.
Okay. Alright, well, this is good. I've got technique, at least. Alright, let's move to washing.
Because the way that it works is that the wash fills in the recesses and gives you a contrast
and
a shadow.
Brush over the top to
brings back out. Yeah, it not only highlights, it brings back up the surfaces that you don't want to be super dark.
Right.
Because a wash is really only meant to provide shadow and contrast.
Exactly, yeah. Alright. Time for our old boy Nuln Oil. So my plan, for your benefit and for Matt's benefit, is not to be terribly precise with... I don't know why I'm shaking the Nuln Oil up so much. It usually doesn't have that much particulate. Is not to be super precise. Like, I've seen some people talking about how they try to use the wash to get just the lines. What I've done in the past with washes and what I've watched Amanda do with washes is just apply it to the whole model and sort of guide it into the lines, but don't care if it gets everywhere because it's a wash, so it's going to run out of the higher places.
So washes can be used for different purposes.
Yeah.
You can put them in just the crevices, like on my knight.
Yeah.
I put it in just the recessed parts, and I didn't cover the entire model in it because I didn't want it to be
grimy.
Yeah, I didn't want the armor, which is a really light gray and is gradiented with an airbrush, to be dirty. There's so much surface area that doesn't have stuff. On smaller models, I cover the entire armor, like on a regular tactical marine, with it, because at that point it doesn't matter.
I'm going to go against the grain here along the glove and get the wash into these crevices. Washes are a miracle.
And as you learn, you'll learn exactly what washes need to be used for each type of color you're painting. Like, sometimes I use a purple Drucci Violet wash in order to wash my gold armor. Or Reichland Flesh Shade.
I love this song. This is Miracle of Sound's Stranger Things song. Just wanted to collect in the crevices and grooves here. I wish I could get this bottle to stay open. Stupid Citadel pots. I'm tempted to just tear the top off. No, I see why you would definitely want to do the dry brushing after this.
Yes. After it dries. very well.
Yes.
Otherwise, it looks like mud. I've done that before. Bad. You can use mine.
Take the top off the bottle. Allie's not actually painting. Allie is assembling terrain for the store. What terrain are you doing, Allie?
I'm currently doing the ferrotonic furnace because later tonight I'm going to be using a hot knife to cut out pieces of terrain for another lava table, but it'll be more of a Forge World table. So, not the company Forge World, but a literal Forge World. So I'm using this Mechanicus terrain that we're going to be putting into hills. So I'm trying to get it done for tonight.
And I am going to donate to you my T'Au terrain.
Which is good because we're going to be working on a T'Au table. Not immediately, but it's on my list. I already have it drawn out. Oh, is it anything 40K-ish looking?
I don't like this blemish on the top of this guy. That's where the sprue connected with his head. It's fine. Whatever. I didn't do a good enough job cleaning it.
The terrain I'm working on right now, Matt, is actually for Norton. Now that I know how to do terrain on my own, we're doing 3 of each table that we have, so we're making 2 more lava tables, because one will go to Norton and one will go to Saugus, and then we're going to be doing the alien table again twice, so that it'll go to all the other 2 stores, and then we're going to be doing 3 desert tables.
So I may be a little bit spoiled in terms of painting. The first figures that I painted, and this was very deliberate, I did the undead army for Rune Wars. And as a training army, for the first thing you're painting, doing skeletons is definitely, it spoils you for everything. Because skeletons, it doesn't matter if they look like garbage. It kind of adds to their character.
Ow. We're going to be using the certain Citadel pieces with, we use a foam cutter to cut out the big mountainy parts. If you can print these so that I don't have to put them together, though, that would be ideal. I would. Why not? Didn't you see the table that we just did with all the snow?
That came out so good.
People don't like the foam because at first there was only line of sight blocking, there was nothing that provided cover, but with all the new stuff that I'm designing, it'll be a lot more actual cover in terms of its relevancy to the game.
I like how that wash went into that crevice.
We have no problems with broken stuff in Abington. I know that it's been a problem in Norton. And it's really just
broken terrain?
Yeah, and it's really just certain pieces though that were like not meant to be taken in and out of cabinets like that.
Well, they were doing a terrain triage day at one point, weren't they?
Yeah. Like there's.
How'd that go?
I'm not sure. There's like the stuff for the desert table, the red deserty stuff, that is just super fragile and easy to break, and it going in and out of those cabinets like that. The problem isn't really people mishandling it. It's getting shoved into cabinets where there's not enough room for all of the terrain to sit at the same time.
So, Ellie, have you seen the, I can't remember who makes them, but the dipping pots for washes?
Dipping pots?
It's a wash in a big, wide open mouthed pot. And instead of applying a wash, you take your model and you go bloop.
Oh, that's Army Painter. It's called, they call it a shade.
Tempted to do that with these guys because I'm gonna be applying the wash everywhere, but I guess I get more control with the brush.
Get more control, you're gonna have less streak lines doing it the way that you're doing it right now. And you don't want everything to be the same color. It's like a brown color, I think. The big stuff up here is pinned, all the foam stuff. Norton just needs a new, well put together terrain, which we're making. As for like 3D printed stuff, I'm very interested in seeing some of it. If you want to send me a message with what they look like. I know it does. I'm going to be running a league for it up here, and I have to put together stuff for that too.
Oh, fantasy terrain.
Yeah.
Have you seen what Brian Frost has been working on?
No.
He's doing new hexes for his Shadespire, his underworld stuff. It's pretty cool. It's all custom fantasy terrain, broken mirrors and stuff that he's been working on. Well, now he looks dingy, but definitely those lines look a lot better. So we'll let him dry, and then we'll come back and do the dry brushing to pop out the overlayer. I don't know what happened here. I must have hit it while I was doing some other surface. There's a big dark blob there. No, whatever. Alright. That's him mostly done. Just need some dry brushing. I'm having fun. Are you having fun, Ellie?
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on this drone. I want to work on its vent here. It's still in the basic prime color. I'm gonna paint this a blacker black along the back of this drone here. Oh, did bot ban you or block you?
Block that message. It's not even bad. It's hilarious.
It's weird. The Twitch's censorship algorithm is very strange sometimes. I don't really understand it. We have a regular viewer from Florida who comes on a lot. His name is, or whose handle is DGDell. And if you type DELL, TwitchBot blocks it as bullying. And I'm like, I'm not familiar with that as a bullying term. Is it because you're threatening to delete him? Oh, just the watch, isn't it? This is what I wanted. Hey, we're doing great. Welcome. Good to see you again. I just finished putting a wash on this model. You can see how gray and dingy he is.
Oh, you're the guy from
this one?
Germany, right? And Matt, I see them. I think it could be good for fantasy. I don't see them being great for 40K, but they would definitely make really easy, great terrain for fantasy.
Dark gray, that's what I'm looking for. What's not 40K? Matt says something's not 40K.
Yeah, Norton, I understand what you were saying now. Yes, I'm Allie. Norton definitely needs fantasy, and Abington needs fantasy too, because I'm going to be doing a league for it.
There we go. This is what I wanted. I want this blacker. That's enough of a contrast, but I'm going to add some silver to it later.
Hello. We spent forever chatting in chat last time, so.
Oh, yeah, because you couldn't be here.
Yeah, we were talking about old school Warhammer.
That's right. So yeah, Allie is responsible for organizing tournaments and such for the Norton and Abington locations of Battleground.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she's doing terrain. She gets a lot of work done with that. I'll decide what I'm going to do here. This is definitely where, when you're doing this kind of detail work, where you get to be the most creative with the model.
Yeah, honestly.
You have to make some artistic decisions.
So doing commission work, I have to do a lot of research on the things people are asking me to paint, so they're painted perfectly.
They want it a particular way, yeah.
It's not like most people want it like the way that GW does it, which is fine, but sometimes you can't find exactly how to do certain things or what color are certain pieces, and you kind of just got to make the best artistic choice possible.
Yeah, commission work must be tough because people have a specific vision, whereas what I'm doing, I'm just like, well, I think I'll do this part this color. Go for it.
Why are you unfocused? And I mean, you painting it would be crazy in a good way.
Oh, the camera's a little unfocused? So my problem is that I don't have my glasses on.
Oh yeah,
it is. I can't see.
It's unfocused.
That's cool. Here.
It's focusing on the Battleground words.
Yeah. Let me adjust it. Tell me if that's better, Allie, because I don't have my glasses.
Yes.
That's better?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm doing some gunmetal here. I'm going to do some gunmetal on other parts of it. Sally, I'm going to try to read the Kill Team instructions before next week. I've been so occupied with the D&D game that I ran last night that I haven't had time to do a lot of work on learning how to play Kill Team. But I'll try and read the instructions before next week so that you can run me through that initial game. I am very much looking forward to it. Actually, while we've got folks in chat, do you guys want to help us select a scenario for my first ever Kill Team game, which I will be doing next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern? Allie has the book. Oh, there's the book there. And we can glance at it and decide on a scenario to play.
I had chosen one. I just never talked to you about it.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get other people's opinions. I think it's the easiest, most straightforward one. So there are 3 different types of matches. You have open play, match play, and narrative play. So I think that sweep and clear is probably the easiest.
Okay, so tell me about this scenario. How does it work?
So you set up in corners of the board opposite each other, and then you take out your opponent's characters while also holding down an objective.
Okay. That does sound interesting. Sounds like fun. Alright. Let's do... I want to retouch the eyes on this guy. The wash is nice and dark. Nope, that paint is dry. Do not apply dry paint to fine detail. I'm sure you would agree with this, Allie.
Yes, I'd have to agree with that, yeah.
So, you missed it at the beginning of this stream when I was talking about the eyes for my T'Au, the lenses. But what I've done is I've applied a thin layer of a yellow paint around them, like so that the green looks as if it's a light that's shining through and reflecting this yellow here. I think it works. It looks pretty much the way I envisioned it. Oh, gracious. And for the eyes themselves, I'm using a technical. I'm using the Waystone Green. That'll look better when I get some dry brushing done on it later. I'm gonna do the same thing. The drones have these lenses everywhere. I'm gonna do the same thing on those. Light yellow around them. I just want the impression of a light shining out. That was too much. So Riley, I know you've got this fantasy, the Warhammer
Age of
Sigmar planned for Abington.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have on the docket for Norton next?
My next big Norton thing is going to be in April. There will be another doubles tournament, 1,250 points per player, and yeah, that'll be probably the middle of April. That way, it's after PAX East, but before Easter. I will also be posting the event for that in the next coming week or two.
Cool. Obviously, PAX is virtually upon us, so.
Yeah, it is. People are like, "Are you doing anything this month?" And I'm like, I really can't.
Yeah, PAX is a thing.
Yeah, priority. Yes, that's in Norton. It's a Norton, kid. To, go with your fake accent there, buddy.
I feel like some of these details are so subtle that I'm the only one who's going to know they're there.
If they get judged in a painting competition ever, they'll be noticed.
Cutting yourself? You're not supposed to cut yourself.
It's the third time it's happened today. I keep accidentally stabbing myself in the fingers.
Well, that's why you've got super glue.
To glue it back together.
Yeah, my drones don't have much green on them. I've got the green in the lenses there. I should think of a way to add some more green to make them match the rest of the T'Au squad. Oh, it's getting toasty up here. not quite to the level it was yesterday when I came downstairs and told you I was going to turn on the air conditioning. You gave me an odd look.
I was just like, I mean, I knew it got wicked hot in here. I just didn't want to happen what happened with the doubles tournament where someone turned the air conditioner on and it was freezing downstairs.
I actually opened the door. I had the door propped open for about an hour during the doubles tournament.
And that was really nice. And then the AC got turned on instead after that.
Oh no, I wasn't here for that. That must have been after I left. I did not turn on the AC. Alright, chat, your opinion on this little symbol here. I've chosen to do it in gold to match what I've done with the... Where'd my other guy go? With the gold on his gun. But I'm thinking maybe that should be a green highlight to add that touch of green so that these guys blend in with the rest of the T'Au army. What do you guys feel? I think that probably should be green. It should be like the shoulders. So I'm just gonna go green over that. It's fine. Here's my green. I'll wait for it to dry, I guess, before applying another coat. That's probably smart. Just gonna do more gunmetal gray. Or gunmetal. It's true, the drone is a mechanical unit, but it's also, because it's Kill Team, I get to actually name each individual unit, including the drones. So I have to think of a name for each of my units, and I have to figure out, and I want to make it clear that the drone is part of the unit, which is why I'm thinking I need some green on it. Yeah, I think that should definitely be green, not
What?
gold. This here on the gun on this drone.
Yeah, it matches whatever the things on your guys are, which is green.
Yeah. It's fine. Everything's fine. It just has an extra layer.
Did you put that terrain together for your kit, or am I going to put it together?
I have not built it. If you want me to build it, I will.
No, I'll build it today.
I have to wait for that to dry. I paint over it.
Just curious. Where's my other drone? Down here. What about painting the top of the drone green, just the inner circle? Did you hear that, Andy?
Yeah,
I think
I'm pondering it.
I think
don't
the
know.
white gray goes better because it's already what the armor is.
Yeah. Bless.
I colored on mic the best I could. Sorry to people's ears. Alright, this is done. Oh gosh.
Leprechauns, because like leprechauns, but T'Au. Sure. The T'Auprechaun squad.
Can I have one of those super towels?
Yeah.
And will you mute me for a second so I can blow my nose?
Yeah. All right, you ready? Okay, you're back.
Danke, Sharon.
Gesundheit.
In English, it's bless you. And it's called sneezing.
Why did I get so much green for such a tiny detail? I don't know. It's kind of appropriate that if they're T'Auprechauns, I'll be playing them on, or very close to, the St. Patrick's Day, which is next month.
I almost wore my St. Patrick's Day shirt today. No joke. I was like, I kind of want it green.
Matt says, in English it's called, Dear God, why you so poison me with your death air? There. I'm having fun. This is pretty much what I wanted from painting. Learning some new techniques. Adding some cool detail. This is the streaky guy. This is the guy who has the white under the blue. When I name the unit, he'll have to be Streak. Except in T'Au.
Alright, now I am switching over to working on the Sacristan Forge Shrine.
Do it.
Isn't that really cool looking?
Yeah.
It is really hot up here now.
Yeah, it's getting toasty.
All I can think of when I hear that word is roasty toasty princess.
I have no idea what that is.
It's from The Lion King.
Oh, okay. I saw that once.
It's from the second Lion King, actually.
And I would not have seen it. I think I saw the second and third Aladdins, but I never saw the second Lion King.
It's amazing. I might be a little bit biased, though.
Want to show off your tattoos?
There are too many.
Paint, stay inside the lines.
So I had an idea for the stream that we'll be doing when we're going to be playing.
Yeah? What's your idea?
So that big cardboard table thing downstairs that has a Space Marine on it is actually
Yeah.
a kill team table.
Aha.
So we could do an above angle stream of it.
So, the problem is we'd have to find a way to scooch this table out of the way.
I think if we just push this table flush against the wall.
So we need to be able to get around the table? I don't know.
No, we can both reach across the entire board because it's small.
Kill team is small.
Yeah. I mean, we could play it on this table too. I just thought it might be cool.
I am looking forward to that stream. That's going to be a lot of fun. Interesting to see if my T'Au can hold your space wolves at bay.
T'Au are pretty good in kill team.
So, yeah, my impression is, and like I said, I haven't played it, but my impression is T'Au are a good ranged team. They're good at holding things off at distance, but they're not terribly good in close quarters. And kill team, the board is teeny. It is so small. So I don't know how that's going to work when I get to it. We'll see.
I saw it. It looks really sweet.
More NIDs?
Yeah, that's like exactly the type of stuff I was looking at. I'm going to see Derek tonight, and I will talk to him about that. Because we're going to be doing 2 more alien tables, one for Norton and one for Saugus. And cleaning up and changing some stuff on the current one that we have.
Yeah, probably time to get a good wash on all these guys.
Yeah, Tyranids.
Interesting, I'm finding like gaps in the paint from the first coat here, or from the first layer. Like, I don't know if I got some grease on the model there and the paint didn't go in, or what.
There are lots of good converted knit
so stripping
armies.
the model and starting from scratch, obviously the right choice. I've only spent 3 weeks on these guys. Admittedly, painting only on rare occasion. I'll do my blade almost just me here. Let me go get a bucket of, what is it, clean green?
Simple green.
Simple green. Leave these guys floating in there for a week.
Oh god. Orcs riding on nids, that's awesome.
See, I haven't done any of the white areas on him yet. Been saving him for last.
Techno nids sounds fantastic.
Sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon. The Adventures of the Technonids.
Said they're Tyranids with Necron parts.
Nope, it's dried up.
This song is completely different than what we're just listening to.
This is Gav's Fallout 76 song.
I'll have to find that piece I just dropped later. Oh crap, actually I need it now.
No! What about Blue Man Group?
Oh my god. You should convert all the T'Au drones into flying pots of gold.
For the Taupricons. Taupricons! Alright, I have to make another decision. I've been putting this off. What color to do the missile tips in?
They're usually done in red.
Get to do red. I mean, yeah, I've seen them done in red. Yeah, red it is.
Where did that cap go? Oh, there it is. Rainbow missile tips.
Sure. Why not? They should be T'Au gold missile tips. Or no. Blue clovers. What is it?
Clovers in the moon.
Silver, gold, yellow moons. Blue clovers, yellow moons. Purple diamonds. Right, because they're Taupricons. I think it's official now.
Now you want to repaint your Chaos Space Marines. I should have eaten something before I came on stream.
You have the rest of my Kit Kat.
That's okay. Green clovers, yellow moons, pink hearts, and purple diamonds, and blue stars. Thanks, Matt.
The power of Google.
They're magically delicious.
For the greater good.
Oh my god. Could you imagine?
Yeah, it's not very rainbow. You're right.
All I can think of when I hear "for the greater good" is from the first Incredibles movie. Mm-hmm. But it's for the, where's my super suit? But it's for the greater good. I am the greatest good you are ever gonna have. I've seen Real Genius.
Oh yes, many times.
That's the one with Val Kilmer, right?
Yes, that's the one with Val Kilmer. It's one of Amanda's favorite movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fun fact, parts of that movie were filmed on my college campus. Filmed on Occidental campus in Eagle Rock, California. So I frequently see areas that I used to walk down all the time.
You went to school in California?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew
College
that.
in California. Back in 91, 92.
Before I was born.
Yep, I am the old, I know.
I'm compiling parts to build a PC for somewhere new on though. I saw that. Oh yeah,
Nate would be
that
willing
makes
to
sense.
help with constructing a PC. He offered to help me build my PC back when I built my gaming rig. You guys have a liquid-cooled gaming rig, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Matt, I have extra parts, computer parts that I'd like to talk to you about when I see you next. They're new, unopened, unused. We got them and just didn't end up using them. They didn't fit in our computer and then forgot to return them.
I have to build a new computer at some point. My long-time laptop has died.
That's not good.
My gaming rig is still working all right. It's chugging along. Though, when I last used it, the fan was going like mad. It was like 60 degrees in the apartment, so I don't know what its problem was.
Just wanted attention.
Yeah.
That's what Matt said.
Laszlo Holyfeld. One of my favorite characters. I always felt that I was a Laszlo Holyfeld. Living in somebody's closet. Or in the steam tunnels behind the closet, I guess. Yeah, that looks alright.
And the dorm itself was like going into someone else's acid trip. The walls and doors were all painted in every kind of mural you can think of by the students. That's cool, though.
I'm pretty sure it was during a summer break and they were going to repaint the walls anyways. Alright, let's check on that guy who I did the wash on. Is he dry? Still a little tacky. Wait on him. And do more washes.
That red looks really good.
What looks good?
The red on the missile thing. And there were Mega Brains just hanging out in the hall talking about stuff that I'm pretty sure might actually open a door to a different dimension.
So I had several friends who went to MIT, and yeah, hijinks. Oh man. Okay, there we go. Did I just do the wash on? Are you just checking to make sure the pieces fit together?
No, I'm gluing them together. Slowly.
I don't want to take that call. It was UCA Animal Hospital. So, probably just telling me that
Everything's done.
yeah, it washes with my cat are ready to be picked up. Blah. I miss her.
I know. It's not fair that humans get to live so long and animals don't.
Yeah. I've often wondered, we've mucked about a lot with the genetic makeup of our animal companions. Why is there not a extensive breeding program to make cats live 70 years?
Because they took the easy way out, which is you can create exact replicas of them. Except they just want the same personality.
So yeah, chat, my cat passed away this week, and that was rough. This is the first time in my adult life that I have not had a cat. But my wife and I have decided we're not going to get another cat until after PAX. And I'm possibly going out to California at some point. So it would be irresponsible to get a new cat and then
Not be there.
not be there. Yeah. So I'm just catless. It's very disorienting. Like I don't have to put cat food down when I get home, and nobody wakes me up at 5 in the morning. It's disorienting.
That's how I feel whenever Nate and I have gone out of state. I can't imagine it being a long-term thing. What kind of kitty?
I do love cats.
Simon took all of the stuffed animals that were within reach out of the closet and hunted them and brought them into the bathroom.
Sounds like a Simon thing to do.
Yeah, he's an idiot, but I love him. Oh, that's so cute. Matt's niece has a new cat.
Yeah.
And she loves being on people and just hanging out. So his 3-year-old niece just sits and reads to her.
Oh.
That's adorable. It's even cuter because your niece is adorable.
Reading to pets is actually a thing. There are libraries that have pet reading days.
I know, it's so good. One thumb-sized orange print on the top of her head. They named her Cheeto Dust.
Oh, that sounds right. I didn't do anything with this guy's backpack. I'm in such a rush to get the wash on.
Oops.
Right. You always go back. Until the paint is so thick that all the detail disappears and they become just a little spherical blob of paint.
They said Santa was eating Cheetos when they brought the cat. When he brought the cat.
Makes sense?
There's always time to go back with painting.
Trying to get more wash down into this groove. I'm having fun at least. Alright, that's that guy. Next. Oops. Let me just poke the camera with my brush. Oh man. There's complete bare space on the back of this model. I didn't paint a portion of his armor. Can rectify that now. I don't know how I missed that. As long as I've got white paint out. I should do another coat on the turret. Because that initial coat I didn't go on too terribly well. I was going kind of fast at that point, I think. And it's a lot of big, wide, open spaces. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad you could be here again. Hopefully you'll be able to join me next week for my first ever Kill Team game. Actually play with these guys after spending weeks and weeks putting paint on them.
It'll be good.
I hope so.
Be here, be square.
That was terrible.
I know.
Man, it is so windy today here. The second time that door has just been blown open. You're making great progress. So with terrain, do they have like options in the construction, or is it all pretty much just one thing that you do out of the box?
You have some options. It's mostly the details that are optional. This is Gav's tribute to
David Bowie.
Mm.
He's obviously a major influence on Gav. I'm doing it deliberately to hurt you, Matt, not thinning my paints.
Sorry, it hurts me too.
Maybe someday you guys will get through to me. Not today. Not today. Yeah, you're correct. There is no paint thinning going on here. It's just squeezing the paint out of the bottle onto my palette and dipping my brush into it.
One of these days while you're streaming. Yes, I'm definitely in.
Do it in the summer. We'll do a special episode. The paint thinning episode.
We'll try to let Andy learn to thin his paints. Like a kid's book.
Boy, did I leave some seams in this model. The other ones, they're not so bad, but this guy, look at this. This seams there, seams there.
Oh, I've taught him to thin his paints. He just doesn't do it.
Nope.
You can lead a horse to water.
Nobody likes T'Au. Yeah, right?
Not even another towel.
Yeah. It's a good second layer there. Got good coverage. Looks a lot better. Alright, who's next? These are the guys I did the washes on. This is the guy whose backpack I didn't touch. And then I'm going to work on all their backpacks now. Good gracious. So look at that brush. It's just all splayed.
Should get brush cleaner.
Brush cleaner?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the water's for.
It's just soap that you can get.
Oh, I don't think it's splayed because there's paint in the base of the brush. I don't think so, at least.
Well, the soap helps keep the brush pointed.
Ah, I gotcha. I mean, now it's fine. It was just a matter of, I don't know. What kind of savages do we have over here in Abington? I mean, I'm certain that other people will tell you I'm not a good painter too.
You don't want to know, Matt. It's a dangerous place here. It's like the land of outlaws.
To be fair, I don't hang out with any of the other 40k players. Just kind of a lep there. Kind of went outside the line. I can get it with a wet brush. No, that's fine. And necromancer's Bless you, Matt. Yeah, fixed it. I fixed it. There at fixedit.com. So maybe this should be the good time to mention to my stream, don't paint like I paint. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm an amateur who's just doing this for fun, not somebody who's actually painting to do it well. I mean, I am trying to pay attention and have a care towards my guys, but yes, I'm not thinning my paints, not doing things technically the correct way, and obviously I'm still learning. Like, I tried to do dry brushing before doing the wash, which was a mistake. We all make mistakes. Yeah, with practice, I could probably become a better painter. Every day, it's a new lesson learned. A little improvement. Like I said, maybe someday I'll learn how to thin my paints. In my attempts in the past to thin my paints, the results have been less than stellar. In that I lose a lot of the precision that I like. Like I can't effectively get the paint where I want it to go if it's maybe I'm thinning it too much and it's turning watery and it's like painting with a wash, which is not what you want to do. I don't know. It's not a knack that I've picked up. He's got all this stuff on his belt and I haven't decided what color to make it. He's got like a canteen and ammo.
Yes, I do know what that is.
What, getting the stink eye in a lecture for saying you can't paint?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep, that was me when I first started painting, and Matt taught me how to paint.
Yeah, yeah. So it's basically saying, I choose not to paint.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the first time that Matt has tried to encourage me to paint, or to thin my paints before applying them to a model. And it will probably not be the last time. Good thing I'm not getting graded on this by him. Backpacks. Alright, so now he's got shotgun shells in his hand. So I should give them something. Little details like this here.
I wouldn't be surprised if you left the video, you nerd.
I'd probably watch it.
Says,
I haven't watched any how learning to paint videos. I've watched my wife paint, and you know, I've had you here, Allie.
Mm-hmm.
I never did get that GW painting app. My biggest problem is I don't learn well by having people tell me how to do something. The only way I know how to learn is to screw up, like do it myself, do it wrong, and learn from that lesson. Case in point, painting that one T'Au blinding white. Just blindly going forward, always forward, never learning.
I would disagree with that in this case, partly, and what I mean by that is seeing a technique.
Yeah, if you see an effect that you like, there's usually a technique involved. I'll agree with that. So if I see something and I'm like, how'd they do that? And I want to try and accomplish the same thing.
How I've learned to paint.
No idea what to do with this.
I watch lots of videos. I see stuff like that, and I'm like, I need to learn how to do that now. And then spend hours and hours researching it and watching videos. That's how my painting has improved so fast.
Yeah,
and just asking lots of questions.
I don't watch many videos. In general, I don't watch many videos. If I'm home and I'm not asleep or cooking, I'm probably playing video games. I don't have time for watching videos.
I don't play
Amanda
video games often.
will have Twitch stuff up, like, all the time. So I hear a lot of Twitch videos. And I'm subscribed to a number of Twitch channels. But I don't watch a lot when I'm on my own.
I don't do it in my free time. I am very project specific. That's the only time I watch them. Failure in doing should come from attempting the technique, and then you learn by failing to do the technique until you find your own way of applying it.
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
So I wouldn't say you go in blindly.
Alright, let's look at everybody else's belt. This guy's belt, I did his shotgun shells. This guy's belt, I gave him a belt pouch. I could get that little green touch there.
Is that guy that's not currently washed the one that you did the dry brush on?
Which one? No. I did the wash over the dry brush. That was this guy.
Okay.
I haven't done any more dry brushing since then.
I just want you guys to become good painters because I and the rest of the world can watch you all paint.
Aww. Thanks. And the more cool stuff we bring to the table, the more people will want to paint stuff themselves. And so it spreads.
I always debate logging into my Twitch and streaming myself painting, but you know.
He's got a gun on his belt, and I've sort of done his holster. So the other day, when I was coloring this holster, I couldn't remember the word holster, and I was like, his
gun pouch.
Gun sheath.
I mean,
that's right.
It's effective. It works.
Gun sheath is right.
Technically, yes. Got on a technicality. Some people would say it's the best kind of being right.
Technically correct. That's kind of correct. It's a Futurama.
Mm-hmm.
I like this sort of art that I've got on my palette. All the different blips of color.
I always finish painting with my hand up my thumb here, covered in paint strips.
Uh-huh. I didn't set up my lamp today because I was running late. And I'm missing it now. Trying to get paint on some of these surfaces, and I can't see what I'm putting paint on too terribly well. I am Moth. I love lamp.
I think that was an Anchorman reference.
Oh, I have not seen Anchorman. I thought it was the Moth meme.
Are you just saying that because you can see the lamp? I love lamp. I love lamp.
What should I do next? More washes. We've got an hour and a half left. There's plenty of time here. Since it was definitely an Anchorman reference.
I love that movie.
Have you listened to the new Ron Burgundy podcast?
No.
God, they're advertising the crap out of it on the radio station I listen to.
I didn't even know that was
Every
a thing.
half hour. Listen to the Ron Burgundy podcast. I'm like, no, it's not happening. I do love Wash. And I love washes. This is when I think maybe I should have gone more white with these guys because they wouldn't look so gray. But then I'm going to go back and dry brush and we'll get some white on them. So they'll have nice contrast between.
Edge highlighting would stand out more.
Yeah.
With the T'Au specifically, because they're armor.
I may not be doing any edges. Edges are... So, I know it's a technique that a lot of people use, but they always look kind of cartoony to me. It makes it look like you're trying to make your model look sort of ray traced, or makes them look like Cartoon Link, which is not a bad aesthetic. It's just not what I'm going for with my models.
I don't really edge highlight. I use an airbrush and gradient it, but
Pretty good. Looking pretty good. So, I've painted these guys almost exclusively on stream. I've done a little bit of work off stream. And I've been painting them for 3 weeks now in 4-hour shifts. Means by the time we're done today, I will have spent about 12 hours painting 8 guys. So that works out to more than an hour per figure. How would you say that stacks up in terms of the amount of time that you spend painting an average 40K figure? A little more than an hour per dude?
it takes me way longer than that.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're probably getting a lot better detail than I am. Like I said, I have some pretty bad seams on some of my models. I have... So the T'Au, the way their helmets are on the sprue, the connector is right there, right on the top of their noggin. And I've got some... Not this guy's better, but some of them I didn't smooth it quite enough when I was getting them off the sprue. So there's a lot of little, like, attention to detail stuff. If I had been going slower, I could have done a better job on, I feel.
Matt says he was AFK.
Oh, welcome back.
He wants to know what the question was.
The question was, so I did some calculations, just sort of back of the envelope, quick calculations, and determined that it is taking me probably an hour and 20 minutes per mini in the construction of this army. And I was asking, is that a good average? Is that where you would expect to be? And Allie said it takes her a lot longer to paint her minis.
It takes me like 5 hours for a tactical
Yeah,
marine.
just for painting.
Like a basic model, like in with armor, like a tower tactical marine.
Takes you how long?
Like 5 hours
Per model?
per model.
Wow. Well, that's why you do the commission work, I guess. You know why? It's because you're thinning your paints. You can cut that in half by not thinning your paints, Allie. Yeah, it obviously depends on the mini. Like, these guys are relatively small. They have some cool detail on them, but they're not super complex. I'd guess if I was doing like the broadside, that would probably take me a lot longer. Oh, yeah, that's a good point too. Matt says that a basic Space Wolf and a basic T'Au are miles apart in terms of detail.
I'm not even talking about Space Wolves, I'm talking about Ultramarines. I haven't painted a tactical marine in a long time for the Space Wolves, but I very recently painted them for Ultramarines.
Yeah, I remember that was a commission you took on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Space Wolves are the most detailed of like all the chapters. They take forever, every model. It takes me 5 hours to put together each Wolfen.
Good gracious.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I didn't do that for my first 40k army. Wouldn't have made a thrilling stream to not even finish a single unit in the 4-hour time frame.
Matt said he could probably hit all the details in a 10-man squad of T'Au in 5 hours.
Okay. So it gives me something to aspire to. Like, obviously, these are my first units. Once I become more familiar with the models, if I continue to work with T'Au.
I'm pretty, not slow, but like...
Meticulous.
I'm meticulous. I mean, Matt is too, but he has the techniques down, and I don't yet. So I have to refer back to things a lot, which slows me down. And he said he'd be adding details to where there wasn't anything, like armor murals and stuff.
Yeah. So I've got a problem here, chat, which is that I'm going to apply these washes and then I can't do anything until they dry, because I can't do Can't do dry brushing on a wet wash. That would probably be a mistake. So what do I do when I'm done getting the wash on all these guys? I guess I can go back to my Chasui, who I haven't finished putting even the white details on, and work on him.
That's what I would do.
Is that the wind? I don't think you guys can hear this, but there's like a rattling in our roof. But the wind is ripping at the solar panels on the roof of the building. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you cut yourself again.
Yeah.
You need calluses.
I have calluses.
Oh, gracious. What is that? There's a clot. That was awful. Yeah, that's getting down into the crevices quite well. That's all those guys washed. Let's do the drones.
I don't like using the file. What are cutter's gloves?
Oh, good idea. You can see there was a sprue right there. If I had to guess from context, Ali, I'd say that cutter's gloves are like you would find for cracking oysters.
I don't even know what gloves look like for oysters.
They're like thick canvas gloves. Get the wash into these. There's some nice deep crevices along here, and I don't know if you guys can see it on stream, but my painting is not incredibly accurate. So on some of the crevices it's more gray and some of it's more black. I just want to get the wash in there to obscure that. This is interesting. Beading on the paint in the wide areas here. I'm going to go over all this and get dry brush white on all this later, so you have to be streak free. Looks nice though. I like the contrast that I'm getting between the grooves in the model and the highlight areas that should be white. Obviously everything's very muddied down and gray because Nuln Oil, but that's fine. We're going back over a lot of that. Are you Googling cut-resistant gloves now? Seems like something that might be relevant to your chosen career.
Yeah.
Matt says you could probably get them at Lowe's or Home Depot.
Yeah, I saw that when I Googled it. I don't like having anything on my hands or, you know, even my arms. I just don't like the feeling of it. That's why no matter how cold it is, I roll my sleeves up.
Yeah. Stab the camera again.
I will not answer that.
I mean, obviously, bleeding is important for the art. Blood for the blood god. You know what I could do while I'm waiting for these guys to dry? I could start putting the circling battle mire on them.
Definitely an option.
So if I Google T'Au alphabet, is there like a T'Au alphabet font that I can find?
I mean, you can find pretty much anything on the internet.
Well, this is true. Just feel like if I'm gonna do like T'Au, I'm thinking each figure will have a identifying letter or something that I'll paint on.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be cool to do it in an official T'Au font.
I can look in a second.
That says probably, because nerds. I don't think there are any nerds that play this game. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's all jocks.
Yep, this is clearly a sportsman game. Oh, good job, me. Highlight the mold line. Oh man, listen to that wind. At least we haven't lost power. If the stream suddenly goes down, chat, it's because we've lost power.
Yeah. They have the alphabet and numbers.
Oh, cool. So Matt had recommended some T'Au names back when I was constructing the T'Au. But now that I know they're the, what do we call them? The LepreT'Au?
Capricorns.
Capricorns.
Sounds like weird pie.
But if they're the Capricorns, they all need Capricorn names. I don't know. Maybe that will end up sounding culturally insensitive.
I think it'd be funny. I sent you that thing on Messenger. The restaurant down the street's called Kissings, right?
Yeah. Fine. It's fine. Alright. So what do you think, Allie? Should I put some mud on their bases?
You could, if those aren't dry enough to just start your dry brushing.
T'Au. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. What's my least favorite brush? I'm gonna mangle it putting this stuff on here. Definitely not my Psycho. Not my dry brush. I'm gonna need that. This brush is in not great shape. I'll use that to apply the Strickland Battle Mire.
I actually have a tool that does it.
Yeah?
Yep.
Like a scoop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, just use a molding tool.
Mm-hmm.
The satisfying feeling of opening a bottle that's never been opened.
And here's another one. This is a smooth one, so you can flatten stuff.
Yeah, this stuff is thick. With a triple K. Actually, just pop the drone off the base here so that I can do this without danger of getting stuff on the drone. Look at that, chat. Look at that stuff. It's great. For people who didn't bother to glue some sand down on their base before they started. I have done that actually. The Star Wars Legion figures that I built for the store, I actually did do sand on their bases, and it's very cool. Through this stuff quick. I need more. There's probably enough for 8 models. So you can see, chat, how it's just a thick, gloppy coat, and it provides a lot of nice texture. So like I said, when Allie and I started the stream, I'll put that on there, make it look kind of cool, random, and then I'm going to go in and do a null oil or a brown wash, and then I'm going to add some snow to them and some tufts, and that will be the last step in the model building process. I don't want this to be too even, because that sort of defeats the point of using a mud texture. Why are there coffee grounds on that clear base? Well, I decided to base the flyers too. Does it have a scent? A little bit of one. Doesn't smell like coffee though. Man, I would just eat them. After all this work, it would be a real pity to eat my models. This is where I feel like I actually might want to use a brush instead of a modeling tool. Yeah. So I was thinking, when I add a little bit of snow, which is my ultimate plan, that I would take some of the T'Au feet that I did not glue to bases and leave T'Au foot prints in the snow behind them.
I think Vallejo paints smell the best.
Yeah, you were saying you like the scent of them in your
The airbrush.
airbrush.
Yep. Smells like blueberries.
Smells like victory.
You build and paint an entire T'Au army and then eat them on stream, revealing that you were really a Tyranid player.
perfectly passable. I'm actually going to use a paper towel to clear around the bottom edge, because I'm going to paint the edge of the base at some point.
Looks like you're smearing baby butter on your face.
I don't know. I've had to change babies. It's more green. Yeah, okay, fair. That's the early models of babies. As they get older, it definitely darkens and becomes explosive. This is a great chat. I'm so glad I'm here for this.
I wouldn't believe this would be the conversation we were going to have today. I mean, you'd think this would be a common peril in intergalactic warfare, would be getting a lot of mud on you when you kneel down to take your shot. Oh, I just put my hand in my paints. Yep. Just put my hand right in the palette. They're mostly dry, but not entirely.
guessing this turret would have been dropped from space or something, so it would probably be embedded way down deep in the mire. Nice and muddy. Boy, it does get everywhere though.
My butt hurts.
Yeah, these aren't the greatest chairs in the universe. Okay. 2 more bases. I'll clean your spatula off when I'm done, Alan.
That's fine.
Yeah. Where are we temporally?
What did you guys do in D&D that there was no combat at all?
So the adventure I'm running them through that I wrote myself is a mystery. So they had to investigate a lot, solve mystery problems, determine how a relic was stolen from the Azorius. And at the very end of the session, they had identified a suspect, and when they went to confront him, they walked into an open square, confronted him, or were preparing to confront him, and he whistled and a mass of goblins showed up, and I was like, okay, roll initiative, that's it for this session. We'll pick it up next month.
It's a once a month thing.
Yeah. It's the best I can do with 5 people. Only one of whom is, 2 of whom are Battleground folks, because it's Andrew Kelville and Amanda. Mm-hmm. But then it's her friend Sarah, her friend Amy, and Jules, who is a Norton regular. Oh, I wish I could stream more. I want to do magic streams. We did them on Tuesday nights for a while, and it just did not work with my schedule. So it sort of fell apart. But I'd like to have a stream like every night. It would mean we wouldn't have the loft anymore. But if we did such a thing, we'd set cameras up permanently, and I wouldn't have to break down every night and set up every morning, which is exhausting. Last base. How are you doing, Allie?
Good.
What have you built so far?
I built the furnace thing.
Yep.
And I am finishing up this thing. I don't remember what it's called. The Forge Shrine.
Alright. These are going to go on the volcano terrain. So the disadvantage to the back room is the table is too gosh darn big. It's good for, like, D&D would probably be fine. But if we were trying to stream board games, only 2 of us would be able to reach the game at a time. That table is frickin' huge. And not portable. So it's not easy to, like, get the table out of the way for streams. No, that was more mud than I wanted. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yes, Derek watches the stream. Sometimes.
Periodically, he's on the stream.
There's a group that plays a lot, and it's Derek's group on Sundays in the back room.
Yeah.
That's why it can't be really permanently back there. The days for the RPG.
Alright, so I've got...
No, I mean, there's literally, it's a time, no, it's a time issue. They would be trying to do the RPG stream at the same time that Derek's group would be back there.
Here you go, Ellie. Mostly clean.
Yeah, it only happens on Sundays.
The RPG thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, only Sundays. Man, I can't imagine trying to schedule it for another time. So when that Sturkland mud or battle mire dries, I can apply a wash to that and highlight it.
Takes 24 hours.
Yeah. In the meantime, this guy is mostly dry, I think. Let's try some more dry brushing. Myself a fresh paper towel.
We could, but it's also taken up on most nights.
We could what?
Matt said if you have it set up back there, you could open it up to more days and then have other people run games for the store. Unfortunately, the back room is reserved like on a semi-permanent basis on Thursdays, Fridays, most Mondays, and Wednesdays. So, and Saturdays, I think. And Tuesdays. Yeah, but every day is
Wednesdays.
taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Fresh palette time. Okay. Dry brushing proper now. Now that I've done the wash.
yeah, Derek plans on stepping in the near future and helping with a lot of stuff on this in regards to the stream, but for now it's just kind of as is. We're not going to kill paying customers out of the back room in order to run a stream that's not making money.
Yeah, that's maybe someday if the stream makes more money than we make from people who actually go in there. Alright, this is going to be difficult. Give me a sec, folks. I'll be right back.
What?
I need a, because I've gotten mud all over the base. I need a holder.
What do you mean think about what I just said?
Something about not keeping paying customers out? Alright. Hey, I'm back. I had to get a holder.
We're not gonna. I don't ever see the back room being used for streaming. It's too valuable of an asset for storage and games that people pay to run back there. It's something that neither of the other two locations have, which is a dedicated gaming space that's completely quiet.
Allie, can you stick that model in for me?
Which one? This one?
Yeah. Thank you. There we go. Better.
We do, which is why Derek eventually is going to be sitting down and going over everything, and he'll figure it out.
Oh no, too much pain. It's okay. I don't care. It's just way too much. that's an instinct. I need to break that.
What?
I just wet my brush. I'm dry brushing. I don't need to wet my brush. I do need to do a better job of getting the paint off the brush, though. Almost did it. And I reached for the water. Just instinct. This is kind of fun. Oh, my back. Well, have fun with your werewolves. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'll post pictures of this stuff online when I'm done messing with it.
See you tomorrow. Look at that. Look at that. I love it. Getting some real character on there now.
touch up that area where I dry brushed onto an area I didn't want to be white. Also a little bit on his knee there that needs a touch up, but otherwise, yeah, this is doing what I want it to do. What do you think, Ellie?
Looks good.
What do you think, chat? Looks world weary, battle torn. Here, you want to put that guy in? Thanks. Yeah. Definitely dry brushing is not about precision. none of this. There we go. Thanks. Well, Allie, thank you for being here to help me learn this.
Of course.
With my technique and stuff. Oh man, that was a lot more paint on that brush than I thought there was. It's fine. Such texture, such depth and detail. Let me just throw the paint bottle on the floor. That thing's taking shape well.
Yeah, just gotta put the other ladder on when it's done. very heavy.
So are you familiar, Ali, with the saying that great work of art is never finished?
Yes.
You just get to a point where you're like, you have to move on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm getting close on these guys. It's like, sure, there's more I could do. But I'm getting close. Like I said, I'm going to do a little bit more stuff on their bases. I'm going to add some snow and add some tufts. But I'm feeling pretty good about where they are in terms of detail on the models themselves right now. The wash and, oh man, I just got stuff all over his glove there. That's fine. But the dry brushing adds so much texture. Have to touch that up. Cat hair. I don't know where that came from. A lot of touch-ups, but that's fine. Yeah. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oops. Nope. Fine. Drag some mud onto him. That's fine. What do you think?
I think it looks pretty good.
Probably not winning any painting competitions, but that's fine.
I think if you go over some of these raised areas with a light green as a highlight, it would make it pop like crazy. Especially because the way their pans are made, there's a lot of really good edges to highlight.
Yeah.
I really like how that's coming out.
Well, I think it's getting on towards time to shut down for the day. Allie, do you have any last thoughts for our viewers in the VOD or folks watching on YouTube?
Even if you think you're bad at painting, you're not. It just takes time.
Okay. Yeah, that's valuable input. Practice. Try things you haven't tried before. Like, I had never before today done much in the way of dry brushing. Like I said, I had so much trouble with it in the past, and it was good to have some instructions from you.
There's always more that you can learn as a painter and an artist in general.
Yeah.
Don't ever stop trying to do new things. All the weathering stuff I've been doing with my knight and the drop pod I did for the store is new.
Yeah.
I've messed up, but you learn, and it's starting to get
like
easier.
I said earlier in the stream, I feel like messing up is the best way to learn. That's how I learn, is by doing something, trying something, not getting it the way I want it to look, and then learn from that and come back and try again. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with these guys.
I think when you're done, you should gloss their helmets.
Yes.
I think nothing else. I think just the helmets would look really cool.
Just the helmets?
Yeah. Like
Would you say use an art coat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like you missed this guy's left leg pad.
No. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Do you want to pop off those arms for you on the assembly stand?
No, that's fine. They're not actually getting in the way much. I just bapped them just then. There we go. Some edges there. Cool. Well, I had a lot of fun today. Maybe they're not exactly the way I envisioned them, but they still look darn cool. And that's the important thing. They're gonna look great on the table, and I'm gonna play some Kill Team next week. I hope you folks who are watching will get a chance to tune in and watch me and Allie play some Kill Team next week, because that will be my first ever game of Kill Team or anything Warhammer related. That's what I've been building up to with this whole Newplay 40K thing. So, hey, I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to play a game with these guys.
It'll be good.
I'll try and read more of the manual in the coming week.
I'll try and paint my stuff off stream and
Don't worry about it.
Have a painted Kill Team.
You don't have to.
My intercessors are half painted.
Okay.
I could use those.
Sure. Hey, this was a lot of fun. I will see you folks on the flip side on Friday evening at 7:30. We will be playing, I can't remember what it's called, Catacombs, which is a board game, a dexterity game built around, it's a dungeon crawler dexterity game. So that sounds pretty awesome, and I'm looking forward to that. So Catacombs on Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and the two of us will be back next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And
yes.
We'll see you there. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye-bye.